Hi, I'm Dottie Metcalf-Lindenburger. I'm excited to be part of this year's International Girls in Information Communication Technologies Day. Women in science, technology, engineering, and math, or what we call STEM, play a critical role in space exploration. As NASA plans to build a sustainable exploration program called Artemis that will land the first woman and first person of color on the moon, it's imperative to have an inclusive and diverse workforce. Diversity fosters innovation and creativity. Both are critical for successful NASA missions. While the number of women and underrepresented minorities earning STEM degrees has grown over the last decade, significant underrepresentation still remains. NASA aims to provide the right resources and guidance necessary for girls and women to enter and remain in STEM fields and careers. Participating in events like Girls in ICT Day helps young women become aware of ICT career possibilities and building their confidence through meeting and hearing from female ICT professionals. The space industry isn't just made up of scientists, engineers, and astronauts. It takes teams made up of individuals with unique backgrounds and roles to make the impossible possible.
What were your passions growing up? What inspired you?
Some of my passions, of course, centered around space exploration. I started thinking about space when my parents, my mom, who was a math teacher, and my dad, who had been a science teacher, started taking me to the museum and to the planetarium. And I was very interested in planets, the stars, and all of these things I was seeing at the planetarium and museum, as well as the fact that people could go into space. So those are some of the things that started inspiring me. And I remained passionate about space exploration when I had the opportunity to go to space camp. And that was the first time I really saw myself on a pathway towards becoming an astronaut. And I knew what some of the steps were that I would need to take, both in school and outside of school, to even think about possibly flying in space.
Who were your female role models and mentors?
My female role models were my mom. She, like I mentioned, was a math teacher, and she was really involved in me growing up and just making sure that I had the confidence to do things in STEM. And then, of course, I looked outwards to people like that were visible, and one of those first people was Sally Ride. So, of course, when I was growing up in the 80s, and she's flying as the first American woman into space in 1983, it just happened to align that she, of course, became one of my role models.
What advice would you give your younger self starting out in this industry?
I guess I would tell my younger self to keep being curious. Curiosity is what has always fueled my dreams, both as becoming an astronaut, but also it's just what keeps me going even today. I love learning. I enjoy being around people who teach me things. And so I would just keep telling myself to continue to be curious. I had a really strong work ethic growing up, so I continue to invest in that work ethic, and I think that pays off in my current job too, as well as I'm passionate about running and being outdoors. And so the curiosity, the work ethic, and then recognizing you have to have the courage to go take the actions. And those would be the things I would just tell my younger self to keep doing.
How can we encourage young women into ICT careers?
Well, first of all, exposure is a big approach. Obviously, we have to understand what these careers are. Then we have to see people that look like us oftentimes doing these careers. So I would say if you are a person in an ICT career, especially if you're a female and you want to have younger people follow in your footsteps, give back, volunteer back. And for the younger people that are interested in these careers, look at what these folks are doing. Ask questions. Again, be curious, want to learn more, and do so both from role models, but then also be willing to get online or to join clubs or to get out there and do some of the footwork yourself. That would be some of my advice. Thank you.